Welcome back to the show ASA Reality Podcast with Auntie Tony. Before we dive into today's topic, I want to take a moment for a special dedication. This episode is powered by the unrelenting support of all of you, my faithful listeners. Your encouragement always pushes me to cover the topics that matter most and reminds me why we share these stories of health, struggle, and resilience, of love and longevity. Your support fuels this show's mission. This episode and the effort to cover both the physical and emotional side of healing is dedicated to you. Thank courtesy for your passion and support. And now, let's talk about the moment when everything changes, the moment of sudden catastrophic failure. Today we are asking a critical question about stability, fragility, and recovery in a very special episode entitled The Break and the Betrayal, When a Bone Gives Way. Every story of collapse begins with a moment of imbalance. That moment, though, can play out in two crucial ways. Sometimes the force is external, you fall and then you fracture. But sometimes, especially when osteoporosis has weakened the foundation, the break happens first. You fracture and then you fall. The fracture itself causes the collapse. This is the reality of Olga, who, at 95 years old, well, let's just say 95 years young, is navigating life with severe osteoporosis. For Olga, a simple misstep on the kitchen rug wasn't just a trip. It was a catastrophic event. When Olga fell, it wasn't the sharp crack of high impact, but the dull, worrying thud, the sum of a body succumbing to fragility. In that pivotal moment, the hip bone, already stained by osteoporosis, either gave way first or broke instantly upon landing. The journey of healing had to begin immediately. Tonight, we explore that journey, focusing on the unique signs of this betrayal, the critical steps of medical intervention, and the long, slow, ultimately hopeful path of Olga's recovery. The betrayal of the fragility. Olga's body gave off clear, urgent signals of the break. First, the pain was immediate, sharp, and intense. But the biggest alarm was the medical team was the inability to use. The leg simply refused to move. Olga couldn't put any weight on that hip, the classic sign of fracture in an older adult. Because the bone was fragile, the fall was considered minimal trauma, meaning the bone broke because of its weakness, not the severity of the impact. The deformity might have been subtle, perhaps a slight shortening or external rotation of the leg, but combined with rapid swelling and bruising, the diagnosis was certain: a severe fragility fracture. These critical signs, pain, inability to use, and trauma, disproportionate to the injury that demanded immediate stabilization and transport. Fracture management for someone like Olga is complex. The goal is not just to fix the break, but to get Olga safely mobile as quickly as possible to prevent secondary complications like pneumonia, muscle loss, and blood clots. The team confirmed the break with an X-ray and moved quickly to reduction, the process of putting the scattered hip bone back in alignment. Given the complexity and the fragility of the bone, this required open reduction and internal fixation. That's just the type of surgery to fix the fracture. It's surgery using metal hardware like plates, screws, or perhaps even a full joint replacement to create a new, strong internal scaffold. The true challenge of immobilization is the bone itself. Osteoporotic bone is softer and less dense, making it harder for screws to hold. But once fixed, the need for a swift return to mobility is paramount. The hardware's main purpose is to allow controlled early weight bearing. This is the crucial difference in treating an older patient. The body needs the hardware to hold the fracture steady, while Olga starts the essential work of getting up and moving, ensuring the long, slow process of natural bone healing can occur. And that takes the expertise of physical therapy. The fracture after the fall. Olga's story doesn't end. When the surgical staples came out, the literal bone fracture is mended. But then comes the often overlooked challenge, the fracture after the fall. This is the psychological break, the loss of confidence, the sudden fear of walking, and the deep anxiety that one small misstep could lead to another catastrophic injury. For Olga, who treasures her independence, this fracture after the fall can be the most debilitating of all. For Olga, the road to full recovery means not just healing the hip, but healing the mind. It means rebuilding trust in the body, restoring courage with every step, and overcoming the mental barrier that the fall created. This requires the same commitment as the physical therapy, patience, support from loved ones, and a focused effort to find stability again. The story of Olga, even at 95, is ultimately a story of hope and resilience. It reminds us that no matter the age or the underlying condition, the body and the spirit, when given the right alignment, the right support, and the right love, will always strive to kick itself back together. Olga's slow, deliberate steps are a testament to the enduring human capacity to heal, to find stability again, and to continue moving forward. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of fragility, resilience, and the journey to mend not just the bone, but the spirit. Until next time, be stable and keep healing. I am your humble and dedicated podcast host, Auntie Tonya. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my podcast. Thank you and be blessed.